Okay, so for this project, we're going to pretend that we have a restaurant and we want to be able to display our menu on the website, on a mobile app, as well as on in-store display screens. So what we're going to do is start off with creating a Django project, something we're familiar with, and then look at how we can change it and update it into a REST API so that it can be used on these different clients, website, mobile app, and in-store display screens. And then we'll look at how to use Django REST framework to speed up this process. So the first thing we're going to want to do is go into our terminal and create a folder and CD into it. I have it opened up right here. Next thing we want to do is create a virtual environment and activate it. So Python -m, and then name it whatever you'd like. So now let's go ahead and activate our virtual environment. Source env scripts activate. So now we can start installing our packages. So let's install Django. So pip install Django. And now let's get a Django project started. So Django-admin, start project, and then we'll name this config and we'll put a period so that it stays in this current directory. Perfect. So now we have our Django project config right here. We clear this terminal and now we can create an app called menu. Python manage.py start app, the name of the app, menu. And remember, whenever we create a app, we have to add it to our settings.py file under installed apps. So under installed apps, I'll go ahead and add menu. Don't forget that trailing comma. We'll save that file. Now the first thing we're going to do is let's start with the database model. So let's head over to our menu app. We can close out config and go into models.py, and we can create a model for menu items. So to do that, let's call this class item, and this will inherit from models.model. And then we can specify some of the fields. So we probably want a name field for the name of the item on the menu. And this will be models.car field. And we could specify max length equals 250. We might also want a price field so that we know how much it costs. So this will be an integer field. But we have to update this char field really quickly to make this capitalized since it is a class. And then the final field we want is just a description so that we can describe what the item is. And for this, we'll use a text field. So text field like so. We can go ahead and save that file. We can also add a dunder string method, _str _self to this class so that we can display it a little bit nicer in the admin. So we can return an f string and display first the name of the item, self.name, and then a pipe symbol, and then self.price. And again, self is referencing the actual instance that's created, so it'll be the specific item that's created. Go ahead and save this file. Now let's go ahead and migrate these changes to the database. So we can go back to our terminal. First thing we want to do is make the migrations file. So manage.py, make migrations. So we can see that it created this 001 initial migrations file. And now we want to actually apply those migrations to the database. So Python manage.py and migrate. And since this is the first time that we're making these migrations for the project, we're also going to see some other migration files that were included get executed as well. Perfect. So now let's go ahead and update the admin and add a couple items. So let's head over to our admin.py. We can close out the terminal. At the top, we can import the item model that we just created from .models import item, and then we can register this with the admin.site.register, then we pass in the model item. Go ahead and save that. Now let's run the server. Now let's go ahead and create a super user. Python manage.py create super user so that we can log into the admin. For my username, I will use dom@sup.com. For my email, I will also use dom@sup.com. For my password, I will use password123. Password123. It's not safe, but that's fine. This is just on my local computer. Now that we've got a super user created, let's go ahead and run the server. Python manage.py run server. And we can go into the admin, log in, and create a few menu items. So we can go to localhost /8000 and then go /admin, and we can log in with dom@sup.com and the password that you created. And now here we see the menu items. So let's go ahead and add a few of these. So we can say pizza is $5 and it's a cheese pizza. Let's go ahead and save and add another. We can say we have a hot dog. This is $4 and it's a hot dog with relish. And then we can finally add a hamburger. This will be $6 and it's a hamburger with lettuce and cheese. Perfect. And so now we have our 3 items entered into the database. The next thing we're going to do is create some views and hook up our URLs.